something got resolved yesterday, and I can't say it the same. I was trying to like say the tone the way I thought it yesterday evening. I can't say it the same. Something got resolved yesterday. I can't say it the same, but something got resolved yesterday. And, you know, there are always like these thoughts evolvements, but I had taken a whole lot of notes that I may or may not, you know, get to, that I could kind of, or in my mind I thought I could like tell you with these notes, with the help of these notes. I actually tried to take notes on, there's like little sentences where you just never know if somebody needed that, and so, you know, you think, but you already moved on to the next thing, and it's like, I don't know if I get to say it, because then everything's saying the next thing, and one of them was, there's always something, and I guess I thought I could kind of just take notes on them, and then like have like one with like, at least I get to say the statements. But then while writing, actually I wrote new things and realized things about that. So that's that. We'll see what I'll, because the only thing is if I don't get to one that somebody needs to hear, then I actually thought it and I wanted to say it or would have said it, but then didn't get to it, and then I just didn't want anyone to think, or you know, sometimes people like make accusations or stuff when you would have put that out, but you already thought it. That would be a little annoying, but because they don't know you thought it or something. More things. Doesn't matter what it says there, because as soon as you see it writing on screen, you're like, wait, I have to pause and read it. But because you know, I'll get into that, but for as much as I will be able to, well, as much as I get to it. But somebody asked me a question a while ago, quite a while ago, and I was thinking it was something about why are most people misers or misers. I don't even know how to pronounce it, or like I didn't know the word, but then I looked it up, and it says somebody kind of hoards wealth, sort of like somebody who apparently keeps it all to themselves. Like I think I know the German equivalent, like geizig or knauserig. So, and I guess, and I was thinking at the time, and there have been a couple other things going on as well as to why I didn't, but didn't answer it at the time. But so, well, the first thing I'm thinking, are most people that? Because I don't see most people being that. I don't think most people, I'm not that kind of person. I should think not. I don't see them. I don't see it in me. I don't think that's who I am. I don't see that in friends or people I have to deal with. So, because what I wanted to tell you all then, because I'm not saying the name anyway, but it's always good because it always helps all of us, because if there's one person thinking something, chances are someone else wondering the same thing or something similar, so it's worth kind of discussing it like this. And you know, I know there are people like that, but I don't know about most people. And you know, my focus is not on them, so I'm thinking, because we, you know, can't really try and fix, it's easy to think, you know, we need to be careful with wanting to, to think that oh, the world would get fixed if da-da-da was different, or so-and-so wasn't like this and that, or this and that wasn't happening, or something, or if only someone else. And it's like, we need to look at what can we control in our own lives, and what is under our control and what is not. What's not. And because I can never fix my life through another person, with another person, you know, in whatever way they be different. If I mean, I don't even see these people as like, I don't see that most people are like that, or I don't think they are. I mean, there may well be people, but who are like this, but ultimately they're taken away from themselves, making their lives like that. But I was thinking about the control of, we kind of want to think, oh, you know, if this and this was different, then, you know, my life would be fixed. Whereas I gotta fix my life, and, you know, live and let live kind of thing, where obviously we can do things like teaching, or maybe with some people, but discussing, or obviously there will be like, everybody has a conscience, those people, but ultimately they're making themselves unhappy. It's like that will not fix my life. Imagine that happened, and all of a sudden, actually what you probably find is you realize, wait a second, I still have this and this and this problem, and my life isn't really fixed. So what is something we can do in our lives that can fix our own lives? And it may be tempting, or it seems like an easy thing to think, oh, if only this was different, and it almost sometimes distracts us from what's right in front of me that I can do, a problem, or that I can solve, or something that I can contribute to my life to change it, because it'd be too easy if it was just the other thing that should be different. And like, I don't think I notice them, because I don't want to notice that. I mean, I will notice, it's not like I won't face the reality, but it's not like, because the more, what we pay attention to is what we'll notice the more. And if it's something that makes me unhappy, so this is not to like ignore aspects of this world, because if something exists, it exists, right? But sure, I could think of some examples for, I don't know what the word would be then, misery. But I'm sure it's not misery, but I think that's what probably they put themselves in. If you pronounced it misers, and misery would be probably what they put themselves through at the end of the day. But it's really not so much my problem what other people are making of their lives. Obviously I'm here because I'm sharing this because I care about other people, but hey, cute doggy. Oh, I love you. Oh. Not anymore, no, I'm joking. Oh no, dogs are so sweet. Hi, doggy. Don't tell me. It distracted me here because I was talking about something, but also like, is that trying to tell me something, or I don't know, is it just because so many dogs have come to me recently when I was filming. But let's get back to the subject or theme of control, I guess, or letting go of control, or at least recognizing. Isn't that this famous saying that has been making the round on Facebook for years, or places like Facebook probably. Because I'm not really on other social media so much, because especially now it's been like a load of things that I feel like I get to unload them. At least I get to say everything like in one place, rather than, well, even if I don't get always to say everything, but I just don't think I have like time to then put the same thing on to Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. Right. Hey there. One of these came to me yesterday. This is what the notes are about. Oops, I should have really zoomed out there, but... what's the saying always? It's something about, it's like a prayer. It's a prayer for give me the strength to accept the things I can't change at the end of the day and stuff like that. So it's like, don't eat my ice cream. Oh. Right. It's like, because I cannot control how another person will act, what they will choose. It is up to them. I can obviously have hopes for them, wish, I can pray for them. It's kind of a great idea, but ultimately we have free will, and that person will choose for their lives, and it's like, that doesn't always mean that that's not right, but what I can always change is my life. And really, when we look at it, our lives are not really that affected by, you know, there's always gonna be something that somebody else will be doing that maybe we didn't like. It's more about how do we deal with it, and who am I in this. I don't need, because it was very, most people, who's most people, you know, it sounds quite, it's quite general. And of course, if like someone, if, you know, my husband or my family was like that, then it might be we are more closely, we have to find a way to deal with it. But the first people are, you know, whom I could kind of think is, and I know, and I always say I'm not political, but sometimes, you know, how do you explain what I mean right now if I don't mention it? Because I'm thinking maybe some of the richest people in the world, you know, might be related to politics in some way, or it could be somebody, but like my life's not gonna get fixed if they act different. They're like people who are like really far away from me in a way. How can, if they suddenly change, what at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if that's who the person whom they meant, but this is like, if I think about it, who would come to mind is maybe somebody who's really, so to speak, far away, and what's that gonna change in my life if somebody else was suddenly different, or you know. Whereas what I can do, ooh, there's a cool sentence in this book by this, she's a decluttering expert, which seems to have nothing to do with it, but the principle is the same. Anyway, she said in the book, and it's almost like lead by example, and it's like, that's one thing we can do until eventually it affects people. And you know how much patience God has with us? So who am I to like say, okay, this person needs to act like this or that? But a lot of times it's an illusion for us to think, to make ourselves think that, or believe that, you know, somebody else can't fix my life. So if I make myself think if the person acted differently or this person did something different, it's still gonna be my life. I'm gonna still have the effects of how I chose to live my life in my life, right? And the consequence, and when we say what goes around comes around, that will still be in my life, no matter if other people have changed their lives or not. speak a silent prayer is a good idea, you know. And I actually did that once, which is one of the stories I haven't gotten to tell. But long story short, I felt this anxiety from that person, from having one interaction with them, and then when I realized it's their anxiety, you know, yeah, that's what I did. Spoke a silent prayer. May God lift that anxiety off of them, so that, because I was really far away, and what else could I do? I do not want them to have to live their lives like this, so that's a really good idea, something we can always do, no matter what. So, and I think, oh, well, I was just trying to remember this statement. It was about declaring, but it was like, she was saying about people saying, oh, you know, but my so-and-so who lives with me does not tidy up. And it's like, you know, it's a good, she says that it's a good idea to kind of divide the space, and you basically tidy up your things, and a lot of times that already inspires the other person to actually end up doing the same. So it's kind of, when I think about putting energy out, or, you know, in spirit, it's like, I feel like that's what we all do always in life on this earth. We do get affected, and a lot of times we're aware of it, a lot of times not. But if we can affect each other in a positive way, and to do that, we can tackle our own lives. And it's pretty much kind of like lead by example, and I can choose how I want to deal with money and wealth and things like that, even though I can't choose for other people. But also it kind of comes down to, or it goes into the theme of looking at what role do I play in my life, and let kind of other people, let, I recently said discovered the sentence "let peace be," which I don't know, it was related to a war at the time, so I'm not sure how far it fits in here, but let peace be, like, let other people, we let them live, not like in a way where, I mean, we still gotta be good examples for each other, like, you know, sure, I mean, it's not like, it's not in a not caring sense, but it's like, what goes around does come around. If somebody else chooses something, then it will sure come into their lives at the end of the day. But there's a lot of power in looking at the role we play in our own lives, or have played, and what we can do about that, because they're what we can and cannot do here, and what we can do about those things, because there will always be something in our hands where it comes to our own lives. And, you know, we can always ask God for help where it seems hard or difficult, or these things. And I read the statement the other day, and I quoted it on Facebook. It was like, never to feel that one day is harder than another. It is simply in progress. And I remember this because it really helped me in that moment. It's like, and when I talk about patience, you know, but that kind of, to get that support from Christ, God, angels, and like, to think that it is, if they think that it is simply in progress, to look at that, and we look at, you know, all the things that haven't happened yet, or things like that. But I don't know if that kind of goes off topic, but just to stress that again, I think my main points are the control, or let go of control, like looking at what we can and can't control, and what's outside circumstances outside of us, that somebody else would choose what they're gonna do, and what are, well, not circumstances anymore, I guess, what are things inside of us, or inside our own lives, that we do have a reach, what we can change. And then, I guess they're related, but they might sound the same, but like, it meant something different, because looking at the role we play in our own lives, it definitely gives us somewhere to go, gives us choices where we can choose what we want to make of this life. the time that has been given to us here on this earth, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to make of our own lives? And there will always be a choice. Well, they're kind of different because, well, one is kind of more, I don't know if I should go there or not, but what if one is kind of more, what I meant was like, one thing I can ask myself, like, it's kind of like looking at what was my role in my own life to get me to where I minded so and so doing this or not. Which we all have. We all have that. We all get that. And I remember my mom saying that to me, like, in primary school, where something bothered me and that she would, like, because otherwise everybody would be bothered by the same thing, everyone would cry about the same things, everybody would be happy. I can always look at, I don't know if that was, oh dear, I don't know if that's like, because I said this before, but you guys know this, but I never want to like embarrass anyone, so I don't know, people sometimes make me feel, I don't know if I like went too far, but I don't want it to be like sounding the same. I want people to know what can be done. That's one of the things we can kind of look at. Why is one thing bothering me, another one is not bothering me? And what have I made of my own life? What have I done? What am I doing? What's my role in my own life? And the other one is looking at what can I control outside events and what can I not control. And there's a big example in front of us for all of us, which is a pandemic. And what can I control and what can I not control? I think we're all looking at that at this time and looking at, you know, how we're gonna live our lives in such a unusual circumstance. Everyone has found their different ways. In a way, we're still finding our ways, and here, I'm not sure. If I was supposed to go there or not with that one point, because but also I remembered, and I think at the time it was asked of me, or not asked of me, to me, I guess, was a time when I began to learn a lot about money. So I still have a recording there, and I think I wrote a lot about it on Facebook too. And so I don't know if they already have the answer, but you know, I think my main really great thing is the role we play in our own lives, or not we, because life's not a game, we don't play it, but you know what I look, if we our own roles in our own lives, because every day I can look at that and it always gives me a way out. It always gives me like power to change something, whereas I can't really tell other people how they ought to live their lives, and you know, it's gonna be better for everybody or not, but everything will resolve when, I want to say, there one moment. I mean, nobody can foresee the future, but I feel like this, getting to do this and everything I learned gave me so much hope that what I was saying about patience, like, a lot can still be done, a lot can still happen in the future, but somebody else changing themselves will not ultimately be the fulfilling for me in my life. I need to be that fulfilling. God may be that fulfilling, but another human, you know, I guess I wasn't sure about that one statement, but also I want people like get the in-depth understanding as much as possible. The more it can help us. And yeah, with the money, there was one thing. Well, I don't know, because I feel like it's more for me about this role thing. But if there's one thing I learned about money, was one surprising thing somebody told me was, as some of the richest people on earth are some of the poorest people on earth. And you're like, first like, why, how is that? But when you actually look at it, and like in terms of spiritually, think, oh yeah, so I feel like that would be another. But I still have a recording where I began to talk about it, and there are so many recordings that I don't remember some of them, what has been said and what not. But I want to kind of wrap this up here now, but there might be like more to come if I dig those up and put them online. But I remember I began to talk and I didn't know, I guess because I started to do this so I could catch up with other things that I hadn't got to that, but I didn't know that Christ would use that opportunity to like bring things through about money. And it's not even that I like hear his voice or anything, but it was like I said it, and after that I was like, oh wait, yeah, that is true. I didn't know that was gonna come out of me, so I guess at the time I kind of tried to bring it back to the subject I'd try to catch up on, but there was something about money in there, and I still want to bring that out, but I don't want to confuse or mix these two subjects up, because the control thing, I think, is a more important thing to look at, because that will definitely give you a way out. That will give you something you can do, not something to do, but something to do, to choose, to change, or it gives us power over our own lives, as I already said. But that thing made me feel better about there even being people like that who are so concerned with getting more money. But that'll be its own subject, so yeah. I hope I'm not confusing you, because yeah, I think my first answers were the more applicable answers, or the more answers that applied more to that question, and the better answers, because that will give me a way to go. If I try to change somebody else, that won't work, because that'll be up to them. But if anything, that, I guess what I'm trying to say with that money sentence there is, I guess you can think about it differently. We can look deeper. Recently I have a video about that, try to describe it, but things just like, I saw like something good in them that seemed negative, but then I saw the good in it. But if we started our own lives, we got somewhere to start. And we got something to work with. And we got something that we can actually change. And it is really true that we draw to us what we put out, pretty much. When I wrote these things, what's in your mind is in your life, and those things. And when we say what goes around does come around, when we say what goes around comes around, it really does. So it's like I guess you can say, I might think of energy as almost like a magnet, and if I allow something in my life, in my thoughts, in energy, then yeah, then it has already got a way in. So there's definitely a way out there that we can actually choose those things. I don't want to over talk this, so I'm beginning to question maybe a few things. It was only because I never want to embarrass anybody, and this happened already, that 2 people just deleted the comments and I didn't know why, so I don't want to do that. I guess. And also we are at 30 minutes, yay, so seems like a nice kind of chunk to swallow, to watch for 30 minutes, but it doesn't seem overly long, so I guess I'll say goodbye to you all, and would love to hear what you thought in the comments. I hope this helped you. Yeah, I would love to hear if that helped you in the comments, if you want, if you feel like it. But I hope I'll see you in the next one, and sure would love for you to consider liking, subscribing, etc. And I most of all hope that I will see you in the next one, and I hope this helped you. Bye bye, take care.